Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So welcome to a different space in my filming room. I'm excited. I just kind of came up with I might start filming in this spot where I can kind of rest my back, sit on my couch, just because we are doing a renovation in our spare room that's down in the basement here. And so we had some furniture in there that we've moved to a few different spots of our house. And so I've moved some of that here into this corner and I really love it. What do you guys think? I think it's a really nice little background. Allows me kind of to sit here if I want to do more of an informal video, but to give, to switch it up, because there are a few different spots in my filming room that I can use, and this would be a new one. So let me know if you really like it. I like this one. It's very kind of just a casual, not much going on in the background, but I do really like it. So I think I might keep this. But welcome to my channel, guys. I've gone on long enough. This video is something pretty personal. It might be a long one. I want to talk about, well, I've had people ask me to talk about my experience with living with chronic pain, especially or specifically, I'm dealing with a chronic back issue that's going on now for almost a year. It's been going on for a year, and I've been wanting to talk about it, but feeling like when is the right time? There never really is a right time to talk about when you're in pain, because currently I'm still in pain, and trying to kind of do it in a positive way that maybe can give you guys support, to know you're not alone. So if you kind of see me shift and move, it's just trying to get into, moving my body and whatnot. But I decided I would do the video, and hopefully if you suffer from any kind of pain, that you're not alone, and that I get it. I really get it. Now, first of all, I'll be 45 this year, and I truly never thought I would be dealing with a chronic pain, especially back pain, because I consider myself to be healthy, and I have been pretty active, being a healthy lifestyle since my mid-20s. So we're going on 20 years of I go to the gym, I work out, I do weights, I do cardio, and all of that. And I did start to deal with some sciatic issues many years ago, and just kind of thought it was nothing. And then a number of years ago, it started giving me some grief. So I started doing active release technique through a chiropractor, and I ended up having a lot of success with that, and I got that under control. But when I was dealing with my sciatic pain, it never happened, like it never dampened or happened. I don't know what the word is. It never affected the way I live my life. It didn't affect what I did on a day-to-day basis. It didn't affect my work. Like, it didn't affect me. Yes, I did get some pain from it. It would radiate. It was on my left side, and it would radiate down my left leg. And it did this for years, and I just kind of ignored it or whatever, and just thought maybe that was normal. And then it got to the point where it was just getting more and more painful. So as I said, I was doing active release technique with some manipulation in there, but I was having great success. Got it under control. Everything was good. I was pain-free and had been for quite a long time, and was getting to where I initially started. I was going when I first started 3 times a week to get just to get things worked on and under control. And then I was doing deep tissue massage once a month, but I got to where I was doing chiropractor once a month and my deep tissue therapeutic massage once a month. So between the two, I was having great success. But again, it never affected the way I lived my life. I may have been in discomfort and pain, which I thought was, well, it was pain, but nothing I'm experiencing or have been experiencing now. But it never affected how I lived my life. I still went about doing my life, my work, my workouts. I did change things up at the gym to deal with sciatic pain and this and that, and with the help of advising my chiropractor and healthcare, doctor and whatnot, and making sure I did it, did what I should do and don't do what I'm not supposed to, if that makes sense. So I was doing all that. I was doing very well, consider myself very strong, and was going about my life all happy and content. And I was living pain-free, and then I would just do my maintenance stuff. And I was feeling really optimistic and great. Then May 20th, 2016, my life has been changed forever. And I believe it is something that I'll be dealing with the rest of my life. A little back history. I would drive to work, and I was in my work parking lot, parked, ready to get out of my vehicle to go and start my shift. And it was a Friday, and that's like any other day. So as I was about to get out of my vehicle, I saw, how you get that feeling, you see a vehicle coming behind you, and then I looked in my rear view mirror, and I could see it to my side. I could see a vehicle, a truck and a trailer had it attached, backing up slowly back and forth behind my vehicle. And I started getting that weird feeling, like to let you know, I've never been in an accident. I've never had any speeding tickets, like nothing. I've been very good as far as being careful and whatnot, and I've been driving for since I was 22, I've been driving. So I was a later driver, but I've been driving with a clean record and whatnot. So I didn't know what it was like to be in an accident and whatnot. But you started getting a little bit panicky, because what happened was the vehicle was getting closer and closer, and you just know it is. So as I was about to get out of my vehicle, because I figured he's getting a little too close, I think I'm gonna get hit, I better get out and let him know. As I was getting out of my vehicle, because I was on the driver's side like this, then I was impacted. And I didn't think I was hit that hard, but I did go forward. He continued to keep backing up and hitting my vehicle, even with me out of the vehicle. And I did proceed to the back of my vehicle as this trailer is continuing to hit and pretty much wreck my vehicle, the whole back end. He was not stopping. I was banging with my right side, that he would stop. He continued not to stop. He just kept going. So finally ran to to the gentleman's truck in the passenger side and was waving, and finally he did proceed to stop. And I was just upset, because in your mind you're panicking, is this guy gonna hit me between my vehicle and his trailer, because he wasn't stopping. So you're going through all these emotions, like, am I gonna get hit? Your adrenaline's running, in essence you're in panic mode, because all you want to do is be safe and not in that specific situation. And he did stop. Pretty much what happened when I asked why he didn't stop is he didn't want to go over the concrete curb that was in the parking lot. Throughout the parking lot where I work, there's concrete divider curb things that kind of show where the lanes are for cars to drive and to park and whatnot. His reasoning was, I did ask him, did you not see me in my vehicle? Why didn't you stop when you felt hitting, when you hit me, my vehicle? He said his reasoning was he felt the impact. However, he was trying to straighten out and didn't want to go over the concrete curb and wreck his tire. And then his thing to me was, ma'am, it's just paint on your vehicle. That can get fixed. And that's all he kept saying. He was young. He was in his 20s, late 20s. And where he was trying to back up his vehicle into, he had no business, because where I was parked in essence, I was parked like this, and this is my back end here, and he was backing up this way. So in essence, any vehicles that were parked along here, he would have been blocking. So if anyone had tried to get out, even including myself, to back up, would have been blocked by this, because he had a full fifth wheel trailer attached to his large truck. So it really made no sense. I still wonder if he was high on something. I don't really know. All I know is he hit me. He didn't want to wreck his truck or tire or whatever, and that I just had paint damage and it was no big deal. So after you exchange the information, I had to I sat in my vehicle. I did take pictures. I got all his information, took pictures of the damage and whatnot. And immediately, I just sat in my vehicle for a half hour. I was late for work. I explained I was hit. I was trying to compose myself to start work. And unfortunately, I did. After about a half hour, went in and I tried to go to work, and I was just too emotionally distraught. Maybe that sounds dramatic, but not for me. And I couldn't work, and everyone told me just to go home. So I did immediately. It was about an hour after I had initially been hit. I went home. I immediately called insurance and blah, 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 and got all that set in motion. About 2 hours after being hit, I started to experience some lower back pain on my right side, which I've never had ever, and my right shoulder. I would look down and there would be this pulling on my right shoulder and this tightness in my lower back that was insanely tight, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. I was supposed to work the following day as well, and actually the whole weekend, because it was a long weekend. It was the May long weekend, so I was scheduled to work throughout, and I just thought, okay, it'll get better, no big deal. I tried to work that weekend, and I was just in a lot of pain. So in essence, what transpired, I found out that I had to, I could get treatment, but I waited like a week because I was being given wrong information. It was just a real gong show. So my treatment had started later than it should have. Anyways, so I decided to continue on with ART, which is active release technique. Can't remember if I said what it was. And that's what I was doing because I had success with my sciatic, and then massage. So I was doing that, and unfortunately I wasn't finding any relief. And then I ended up taking like 2 weeks off from work. In essence, using up sick time and whatever sick time I had and my holiday, because my work wanted me to do a workers' compensation claim, even though I wasn't on work time. They said I was in the work parking lot. Long story short, it wasn't a workers' compensation claim. It was going to it would complicate my car accident and insurance claim. So that wasn't an option, and it just became very complicated. So I was trying to do everything I could on my own, and it just wasn't working. And then over the course of the treatment, I was assessed, followed up with my family doctor, and what I ended up doing was just doing my specific treatment through my chiropractor, and they kept track of everything and this and that. So basically you have depending on how severe your injury is, you have 90 days to get treatment within. This is where I live in Alberta. I'm not sure where you live, but I had, hope that within 90 days I would be better. Everything would be good. By the end of August, my claim would be, done, this and that, and all would be good, and I would be 100%. That's what I thought in my mind. I took time off from work. I went back, but I was just in continuous pain. Wasn't getting better. I try, then it would kind of be okay, then it wouldn't be. I would go a day or two and I would feel okay. We were trying to do chiropractor, like keep it, you know, every couple weeks, 3 weeks. I was up to, at one point, once every 3 weeks, which was great. I would be okay, you know, but then the pain was always there. It was just this tightness, like I was crying. It was just unbearable. And then I kept a journal during my 90 days of everything that was going on treatment-wise, how I was feeling, and I kept that because I want to have that as a record for when my claim gets settled, because it still is open, because obviously I'm still doing treatment and dealing with it. So it was really important to keep a journal of kind of what I was going through pain-wise, in the emotions and how treatment was going. So I do have that as well. But it kept fluctuating, and I was diagnosed with having one of the worst injuries. And I'd have to get my paperwork, and I can't remember what it was, but in essence, I was awarded 21 treatments and to get done within 90 days. That was covered through insurance, through car insurance, through having a car accident, which is the next step up, is if you're paralyzed. So that just tells you that I was quite injured. They couldn't find, you know, we figured it was a soft tissue damage, nothing else major in there. And then as time was going on, and then I completed my 90 days and had extended, you know, to get continuing coverage. I wasn't any better. So we just kept on with the treatment. I was starting to get concerned by the 6-month mark, and just wondering what is going on, why am I not better, and just being really concerned. I'm still in pain. Nothing's being steady where I'm pain free up to like continually. It'd be like one day I was okay, but then I would be in pain for the rest of the, 2 weeks or whatever. And so my chiropractor said, I could have a possible bulged disc or tear, but it's still so early that even doing an MRI or a X-ray probably at this point wouldn't show much, but that it wouldn't really change treatment. It would just take a lot longer to get better. Okay, so here we are at Christmas time, and I actually had a really good 2 weeks at Christmas. I was actually pain-free for 2 full weeks, so I actually was starting to feel very optimistic that I was getting better. So I was like, here we go, we're on the home stretch, everything's great, we're making strides, and even my chiropractor was happy. Well, come January, the new year, I try, I'm very careful with lifting and what I could do, and I've really gone through and assessed and talked what exercises should I avoid and not do, and I was doing all of that. So what ended up happening was I tried to do some of my order at work very carefully, and my back couldn't handle it. And I finally, just after dealing with so many months of being in pain, decided I was going to take a leave from work. So I talked with my boss. We decided that would be best, and then that's what I've decided to do, in the hope that by having time off, extended amount of time, up to 6 weeks, I would be better. I could really focus and get better. So that's what the plan was. I followed with my doctor, was doing all the disability stuff, and still being very proactive. I've been going to the gym the whole time, but being careful and really honestly being very careful, but yet active, and that's really important as well. And then, I'm a month into it, things aren't I'm not feeling any better. And now, I have been, the last time I've not had pain was back at Christmas time. I've been in constant pain since then. Some have been really intense, and some has been like today, where it's like there. So I don't know right now what it's like not to have constant pain. So as we're going close to following up with my doctor and supposed to be going back to work after 6 weeks, she finally advises that let's start physiotherapy. I'm not too sure why we didn't start it a long time ago, but whatever. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna start physio. And I went and did physio, and then they figured when I did my assessment that I would have to see a registered kinesiologist that they have on staff as well, because she figured that I had not only range of motion, that kind of issue, that there was probably some muscle weakness and strengthening that had to be done. And just to let you know, I have done an MRI and it showed that there was nothing wrong, that my discs and the tissue and everything looks good. But sometimes an MRI doesn't show anything, and it is what it is. I haven't done an x-ray yet. It is something that maybe I may be doing come summertime if I'm still in constant pain and nothing's getting better. So that is something that we are keeping open, the option of that, but not at this point. So I was put on a program, a physio 3 to 4 times a week. This was 5 weeks ago, of not only a physiotherapist, but also the kinesiologist. So I've been doing, where we're at today, I've been doing very intense therapy. I have a huge different type of stretching program from 3 different people. I have stretches that I do from my chiropractor for core training. I have stretches from my physiotherapist. It's for core and back strengthening, and then from the kinesiologist for muscle strengthening and endurance. So with everything said and done, I'm doing 4 different types of therapy. I'm doing active release technique with a little bit of manipulation, not a lot. I do therapeutic massage, and I'm doing 2 different types of physio. What kind of the recipe that we're finding is that they think I may still have a tear or a bulge in my disc that's not showing up. However, it just doesn't change any of my treatment. It just means it's going to take quite a while to get better. This is kind of what we're thinking is going on. However, I'm in pain and that doesn't change anything. It just is what it is. So I had been off work for a total of, I was off January 20th. I went back this Monday, April 3rd. Even though I'm still in pain, my doctor, the physiotherapist, and the kinesiologist have all said it's time for me to go back to work and try and get my life back. They say they want you to go back when you're not 100%. That's what they recommend, even though I feel I shouldn't. Whatever, it is what it is, and I'm dealing with it. So my first week back has been 4 hours because I normally work full time. So I had just finished my first week of doing 5 4-hour shifts. Next week I will be doing 4 6-hour shifts, and I follow up with my doctor next month, and then with the goal of returning to full time of 40 hours in 2 weeks. Whew. Yes, there you go. So at pretty much where I'm at is dealing with the chronic pain. It's been a very emotional and a very stressful time in my life. It's impacted and affected everything in my life. I've had to completely modify my life and try to come to terms with this may be how I am the rest of my life. And how does that make me feel? It makes me very sad. It makes me very upset that this happened. I didn't choose to get injured. I didn't choose to have to deal with this. I didn't choose to have someone decide that it was okay to not wreck their tire, but to wreck someone else's vehicle and be very negligent with that. Because it's easy to get a vehicle fixed. It truly is. You get your vehicle fixed, it's done, off you go. The human body, not so much. It's a little bit more complicated. And when you're dealing with a back pain, like with a back injury, your back, you don't realize how much you need your back until it's injured. And anyone that's dealing with a chronic pain injury or chronic pain in general understands how debilitating it is, both mentally and physically. I'm feeling more like myself this week, even though I'm in pain, but I feel like I'm getting a better handle of what it is I need to do to move forward. And my goal is that I continue to get stronger, because I am slowly getting stronger. It's just very, very slow. And that's how it's going to be. I'm not doing as much physio each week because I'm not seeing as, my progress isn't quick. So I'm not going as often now as what I was. I'm continuing on with my stretches and my treatments. Yes. The frustration I have is I just want to be better. Will I ever be better? I don't know. My hope is that I will, but I'm determined and getting through this pain and what's been going on, and coming to terms that I'm only human, and that I was the type of person that I am, it's hard to relax. So I've had to try to figure out, how do I deal with that, where I need to really take a step back and rest and relax. That's hard for me. So what I did is I started doing what's called floating. That's true relaxation, and I've gone twice, and I'm going to be doing that monthly. That's the only way I found that I can truly relax for 90 minutes. I did a vlog on floating, and I will link that for you in the card above if you're interested in knowing what my thoughts are on it and what in essence floating is, if you haven't heard of it. And I think it's going to be a great way to help me mentally, physically, and with so many things, to shut off the world for 90 minutes. I'm very active on social media with work, so I'm constantly, my brain is going all the time. It's really hard to shut that down and just relax completely. So floating allows me that. So have brought that in. I've started doing a monthly facial, a deep facial. I know it sounds kind of weird, but the lady I've kind of found in the last couple months, she does reflexology while she's doing the facial. So she's doing kind of a whole body thing. So for me, when I leave, I feel very good. So that's another thing I've started to incorporate. Not only is it good for my skin, it's good for my mind, and it's good for my body. And I think that is another thing. So as you see, all these things are things that you have to pay for and that you have to, budget for. For me, it's just ways I need to figure it out. So that's another thing I'm trying to come to terms with. And that's just how it is. You want to get better, you have to kind of pay for these things. It is what it is. So it's a very expensive process when you get injured. While I was off time from work, I could have a whole story time on my dealings with being on disability and the whole shenanigans of what went down with that. I won't talk about that in this video, but the frustration of no one listening to you, truly listening to you, because if you deal with pain, especially chronic pain, no one believes you. You really have to fight your case and fight for that, and show people that you're truly suffering. They can't see it. Like when you're injured physically, like you have a cut, people can see it. They'd be like, oh, you're in pain. I see that. Mental illness, there's stigma with that too. Like mental illness, depression, chronic pain. People have a hard time like associating and really understanding what it truly is, because they can't see it. They need to see you have a surgery. They need to see you physically get hurt. But if people can't see it, that you're dealing with it, then they have a hard time believing you. They don't see how that's possible. That's my frustration, is I'm in pain. You may not be able to see it physically, but I'm feeling it. I want to be you. I want you to understand I'm in pain, I'm dealing with this, and I want that respect from you. That's what this whole thing is the journey of trying to get better, and for people to truly understand that you are going through something traumatic and something you're trying to come to terms with that you may be dealing with the rest of your life. Chronic pain is not funny, it's not fun, it's frustrating, It's so many things you're dealing with, and all you want is someone to just hold you sometimes, tell you it's okay, I get it. And for you to have to continually fight for that is very exhausting and draining. If you yourself are dealing with any kind of chronic pain and you're working, or you have someone in your life who just doesn't take it seriously, fight for that. Fight for what is right for you, because no one else will do it. If that's one thing I have learned, no one will fight for you. You have to fight for yourself, and you have to fight for what is right. It sounds cliche, but it's the honest goodness truth. And out of anything that I'm learning is that I'm human and I have limitations. And as I've gone back to work, I'm working through that and taking a step back and being like, what I was pre-injury and whatnot was I did everything. I did everything. I wanted to do everything. Let's do everything. And I just got to the point, I said, I need time off from work because I can't even do anything. There's a difference between doing anything to doing I can't do it. So accepting that has been a really hard thing for me, but an important aspect of getting back into work, and that my coworkers and my family, which is Derek, realizing that I have limitations and I'm doing the best that I can, but that I'm working through that, and that as time goes on, my goal is that I do get better and I get stronger, and I think I will, and I'm feeling that, but it's just very slow, even though I'm still feeling like I'm feeling tight right now and in pain, but I'm fighting through it because I want to live my life. I don't want to be on painkillers. That's the first thing people ask me. Are you on painkillers? Are you doing this? No, I don't, because chronic pain for me and my injury isn't going to be solved by painkillers. Initially when you're hurt, yes, for me and my injury, but it's not going to help me long term. I need to fix the problem. I need to address the problem, and that's all done with your healthcare professionals, your doctor. You don't just go and do your own program. You have to go through and speak to people and do your best. You have to try, and you still have to be active. Even though you're in pain, you do have to rest too, but you really have to try to do what's right for you. And that's anything I've learned. That's what I've learned, is I need to do what's right for me. So I'm on this journey trying to figure out how to live with chronic pain and accepting that it is probably going to be part of my life. My goal would be that I could go pain-free. That's my goal, because I want to be pain-free. Will I? It's hard to say. But I felt passionate to finally address this issue with you guys. I hope that you found it, that you can relate to what I'm saying in anything, that you aren't alone. I say this all the time, that you matter. Even when you think that you don't matter, you matter. And no one else may take you seriously, but when you are in pain or you are suffering, you are going through anything, you matter, and to really address that and to stand up for yourself when no one else will. That sounds dramatic, but it's the honest goodness truth. No one else will do it for you. You have to fight for you. I have learned that, and I continue to fight for that I matter and I come before anyone else. I, up until I was injured, put everyone, including Apollo, which I do, ahead of me. And when I finally took time off in January from work, I finally said, for the first time in my life, I come first before anyone else. Yes, my family's important, Apollo's important, my job's important, but if I can't be important, how is anything else going to be important? I need to matter, and I need to come first, and that's what this whole journey is, and I'm very proud of myself that I am working towards that, and it won't miraculously be okay tomorrow. It won't be okay next week. It's going to take time, but I'm learning that that's okay and that it is going to take time. So that's kind of what's been going on, what I'm dealing with, and just the hope that one of you finds it something resonating within you, that you matter and that you aren't alone. And I just wanted you to know that you can think you're the healthiest, but doesn't matter. It can happen to you when you least expect it. But learning and being able to deal with that is a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. It just takes time as you go on your journey to get better. And as my physiotherapist, and I continually now think of it this way, the recipe I was doing with just active release technique was not effective enough for my injury, but now adding physio in and doing these specific exercises and stretches that take me a while to get through are important, and I will continue to do that all the time, even if I feel better, is the recipe I'm trying to find for me. It's finding the right recipe that you can get to function in your life. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me below. I do appreciate all the love and support, and this video was harder to do, but I felt passion to do it and to share with you. And I truly hope that if you are suffering, that you find some kind of relief within you to help you live day to day, and we can do the journey together, because I'm not 100%, I may be 50%, but I'm going to get there. It's just going to take time. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Lots of love from Apollo and I to you guys as you live your life, and that you matter, and that's what's important in this world. Take care, guys. Bye now. Right?